Set to hit. In fact, insurance as a sector is going to get interesting. ICICI Pru Life's IPO will open on September the 19th, Monday next, that is. At the pre-launch IPO conference, Chanda Kochhar spoke with CNBC TV 18, my colleagues Ritu, Singh, and she said the company will maintain market leadership among private players even without an acquisition. The obvious hint at HDFC, which now becomes the biggest player after the acquisition.
I will not make any forward-looking statements at this time as we are launching the IPO, but what I would like to tell the investors is to look at our past performance. We've been market leaders since 2002, and clearly we followed a very consistent and well-articulated strategy. The strategy is around the fact that we believe in customer-centric product proposition. We have one of the strongest multi-channel distribution architecture. We focus on technology in order to improve the delivery of services to the customer. We focus on persistency, or cost efficiency, and finally, we've had great fund performance. So we'll continue to follow the same strategy as we go forward.
But how would you grow your market share? Is there a target you have in mind, even for your assets under management?
Again, as I said, this is not the time to talk about targets as such, but clearly it is this strategy that will help us to continue to grow market share. And additionally, we also see the protection market in India growing further. And I believe that that is one more segment which will give us growth opportunity.
Talking about the proceeds from the IPO at the upper end, if you're raising about 6,000 odd crores, which will be going into the parent, how will you use your position to strengthen ICICI Pru Life, the company?
Well, the whole process and the thought behind the IPO is really from the other side. That is our long-term articulation, which we have always said in the past, is that in the medium and long term, we would divest some part of our holding from our major subsidiaries. And the life insurance subsidiary is our largest subsidiary. As the Insurance Act amendment got passed, and after that, as the IPO guidelines, the listing guidelines for insurance companies were finalized by IRDA in December 2015, we thought that us being the largest company by in its own right deserves to be a publicly traded and listed company, and it was really in that context that we started the work for IPO, and we are making the IPO happen.
In that context, competition really is increasing, especially with your closest competitor now making a large acquisition. Is that something that you would be exploring as well? I mean, as you said, there are 21 smaller privately listed insurance companies. Would inorganic route be something you'd be interested in?
So, of course, the competition has always been quite intense in this industry. As you said, more than 20 companies in the private sector side itself. So, competition has always been intensive. But, while as of now, there is no consolidation plan or acquisition plan that we have in the offing, but we've always believed in the group that anything which is the right opportunity at the right value at the right time, we'll always be open to evaluate.
Your current shareholding will go down to about 55.5% post your divestment, and Prus will remain at about 26%. Could you share what the ultimate holding in the joint venture will be by when you look to take it down to 25%, and what the next round of divestment will be from which players?
No, as per the listing guidelines, finally the public float within 3 years has to reach 25%. With the current issue, we would be around 19.5%. So clearly the public float has to increase. Our long-term understanding, which we have arrived at currently with Pru, is that Pru's shareholding would be about 20% and our shareholding would be around 54%.
So by when can we expect the next round of divestment from both the players? Little for you.
Well, as I said, that right now we haven't decided the next step, but we do have up to 3 years to achieve this.
In November, when you sold about 6% stake in Pru Life, the valuation of the company was around 32,500. Now we're talking about 46,000 crores. Those valuation figures are very rich. What has changed in less than a year to, for Pru Life to justify such a, rich valuation?
Well, first of all, the markets are never constant, so you should keep that in mind. But talking specifically about the company, a lot has changed in the past 1 year. The industry growth itself has been quite stable, but our company's, premiums have gone up, so it's maintained continuous growth in business. The persistency ratios have improved, and most importantly, the VNB, the margins have improved substantially, and over this period, the margins have gone up by almost 50%.
Okay, that was Chanda Kochhar. Of course, that's going to be a large IPO next Monday.